Threading a floor loom gives you a lot of time for thinking, especially when you're threading a floor loom for plain weave. It's very repetitive, very simple. You really don't have to think about it. It's pretty unlikely you're going to make a mistake in the threading. And so I just sit here and thread and think and pray and just have all kinds of thoughts. So I thought I'd share with you what I've been thinking today as I've been threading this loom. I've been thinking about giving up. No, that doesn't mean that I'm giving up on anything, but I've been thinking about my tendency to want to give up and where that comes from. So probably about once a week, probably that often, I have this very strong feeling that I just want to give up on everything that I'm kind of striving to do, especially on things like my YouTube channel and just all the things that I'm doing for my business. And I know that once a week it seems like a lot, but generally it's in a low moment where I'm too tired, I'm overworked, whatever it is, I'm not feeling great. And I just feel like giving up. I never have given up, obviously, because I'm still here. I've been here for 8 years doing YouTube and my business for almost that long. And I've stayed. And every time I felt like giving up, I haven't. I've come back because once I'm in a better frame of mind, I realize that just what I would be giving up that I've worked so hard for. I've been thinking about what the source is, besides feeling tired and feeling irritable, whatever it is on the particular day. I think a lot of it comes from desiring the approval of others too much. And so if I put out a YouTube video and it doesn't do very well, then that will put me in that kind of frame of mind of wanting to give up. Another thing that I think a lot of YouTubers struggle with is, especially when you've got a channel like my main weaving channel, where I basically do tutorials all the time. And when I've tried to kind of swing away from doing tutorials every time, the videos just don't do very well. And that's really discouraging, because often when I try to swing away from the tutorials, I'm trying to share a bit more of myself, which is kind of important to me, because although I love doing the tutorials, I love doing the weaving school, everything, all of it's great. Sometimes, especially on YouTube, you can feel like people are only interested in watching you because you can give them information, you can teach them things, they can learn things from you. Now some would say, oh, well, but that's the purpose of your channel. And yeah, I agree with that to some extent. But at the same time, as your channel grows and you get to know people and you have an audience, you kind of want to be involved with that audience and you kind of want them to know you a little bit. I don't know, it's probably not like that for everyone. It is like that for me. And so it's been really discouraging when I have tried to share a bit more of myself and people have been like, nah, I just want the tutorials. Bring back the tutorials. No one speaks to me that rudely. That's just the general consensus that I get. People are there for the tutorials, they're not there for me. And so after a little while, I guess after 8 years of doing that, start to feel, I don't know, a little bit used, even though it's my choice to do it. I guess you can't take your emotion, your humanity out of videos. Eventually it's going to creep in. That's one reason why I wanted to start uploading to this channel, because my hope was that I might get a separate kind of audience of people who are more interested in this kind of vlog content or just chatting or whatever, without expecting me to be teaching something every single time. That's my hope anyway. So far it's it's not going that well, which is no real surprise because those style videos never did do very well on my weaving channel. But I guess it's something that I feel like I just really want to do at the moment. And that's kind of the point of this video that I wanted to come across was, even when you feel like giving up, if it's something you really want to do, I encourage you to keep going. Sometimes you don't know the impact that continuing on is going to have on you and your life until you're at a later stage and you look back and you go, imagine if I had given up that thing, if I'd stopped doing that. I wouldn't be in this place, I wouldn't have these things, I wouldn't be this person. So another example I have for you, that something I had kind of given up on, I think, was singing. So singing's always been a huge deal to me. It was ever since I was a very small girl, I've been singing. And part of that was performing and part of it was just singing for the joy of it, and the challenge of, you know, being able to sing challenging songs and all of that. And then after I had children, I guess I was just too busy to do anything really. As I was homeschooling the children as well and just didn't have any spare time for me. But I would still sing around the house and sort of keep up that love of singing just for the joy of it. And then a number of years ago, probably maybe 8 years ago now, I got some really weird, it wasn't really a throat infection. I thought at the time it was silent reflux. And so it was kind of a feeling of having something caught in your throat all the time. And it felt kind of sore and just irritated and weird. And it really affected my singing voice. I couldn't really sing while it was happening. And I tried a bunch of different things, changed my diet, did all of these things to try and make this horrible, horrible feeling, sensation go away. And eventually, after probably 6 months, it went away on its own. Not through anything that I was doing. None of the treatments that I tried for it worked. And none of the doctor's visits helped either. But thankfully, it did go away after 6 months or so. But I had felt that it had somehow damaged my vocal cords or my throat. I can't really explain it, but it wasn't just that I was singing less, it's that something happened to my voice over that time through that particular illness. And I just kind of thought, well, I think that's it. You know, I think my voice is pretty much done. I was well into my 40s by then, and I know that vocal decline is a thing for some people, and I just thought it was done. And I was really sad about that, of course, but I had to accept it at the same time. I've dropped my threading hook. So I did kind of accept it, but I still tried singing here and there. So anyway, that was a long story, but probably 2 years ago, I started doing a little bit more singing with my youngest daughter because she was showing an interest and I felt that she had a real talent for it. And so I started helping her with, you know, just basic scales and improving breathing and all that kind of thing. And then she really took off with it, so much so that I felt like we needed to bring somebody else in because my knowledge was not enough to be able to help her with the problems that she was having and needed to overcome, because she sings in opera style and I don't. I sing in a classical style, maybe like a musical theatre style, but opera is extremely challenging for me. Anyway, so we got her a singing teacher and she still goes to that singing teacher. Fast forward to now, and my daughter is going to go in a local, I guess you could call it a talent show. And she went in it last year and she did very well. She won a couple of awards. And so she wanted to go in it again this year. And she asked me to sing a duet with her. So I was like, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds really fun, because we had been practicing this song together and it was going pretty well. So I have been training every day for weeks to prepare for this performance, which is next week. And I'm very nervous about it because I haven't performed in over 20 years. And so it's a pretty big deal for me. But I'm also looking forward to doing it. So, but what's my point here? My point is, if I had given up on my voice, there goes my hook again. I think I need to have another hook sitting up here, because I've dropped the hook several times while talking to you, and I hadn't dropped it at all before that. Anyway, yeah, if I had given up on my voice and said, well, that's it, I'm just not ever singing again, then things would have been sadder, because what has happened over the weeks of training that we've been doing, daily training, which I didn't think that I was even capable of anymore, but I've built up to it. What is happening now is I'm seeing changes in my voice, and it's amazing and it's wonderful. It's like getting a little piece of my youth back. It really feels like that. Like, I don't know what's happened with the damage, whether it's just settled, whether it's been reversed, but now when I come in to train, I can feel the difference so much, and I'm hitting notes that I haven't been able to hit since I was younger. It's just such a good feeling. I wouldn't have had that if I'd given up. And also the special time that I get with my daughter, singing together and helping her develop her talent. And now we're going to perform together, and it's just amazing. So friends, whatever it is you want to do, I encourage you not to give up. If it seems like a far-fetched dream, whatever it is, you can take small steps towards doing something, getting better. It's the same for me with weaving. I did have a point where I had this huge break from weaving because I was doing a photography course, and I got so immersed in the photography and I was loving the photography so much that the weaving kind of took a backbench for a little while. I did come back to it after several months, which I'm really glad that I did, because just being consistent and coming back to it constantly has allowed me to be the weaver I am now. Not a fantastic weaver, but for example, yesterday I was, when I was taking my warp off the warping board and placing it in the rattle and the loom and everything, I thought to myself, it was another one of those moments of like, I remember how stressful this used to be. This used to be so hard. And then I was rolling the warp onto the loom and I'm like, it's like carving butter now. It just goes, I just know what to do. I know the yarn, I know the equipment, and everything goes smoothly. No tangles, no stresses. It's all good, you know. So even if I'm not the most fantastic weaver and I don't remember all the bits and pieces that would make me a better weaver, and maybe I take shortcuts as well, but just getting to that point with anything where you feel really comfortable with it is such a great feeling. You kind of feel like unstoppable. Just the confidence that comes from that, of knowing that you can use this gift. And yeah, it's really important, I think. And if you suffer from depression or anxiety or anything like that, I have a lot of experience with that too. These things are helping me. These things that build confidence and make me realize how capable I can be and how many things I can do. And that comes from not giving up. It's not raw talent. It's not tons and tons of knowledge. It's persistence. That is what will get you there in the end. Persistence, coming back to it again and again, working it over in your mind so that it becomes a part of you. That's what not giving up is. And also, if you don't have people to encourage you, that can be hard, because we naturally seek encouragement. It's like we naturally seek love because we want to be happy. We want people around us to love us and encourage us and think that we're doing wonderful things. We don't always have that. Not everybody has that. And so in that instance, you keep going, not just for yourself, but for God. You do it for Him. You do it as His creature that He's created to do these kinds of things. Why would we be able to learn and do amazing things if we hadn't had that built into us? So do it for Him as well, and for yourself. Well, thank you for watching this video. Your being here and watching this encourages me to continue to want to make videos like this and to share more with you. So I hope that that's a positive thing for all of us, and I will be seeing you very soon.